Today I'm going to show y'all how to make wild game chili. My chili has beans in it. I know that's a big controversial deal. We grew up without a lot of money, so we had beans in our chili. I've gotten accustomed to eating chili with beans in it. I like the taste, so mine has beans in it. And if you don't like beans, don't put them in there. This works good with beef, elk, venison, and lean ground pork without any seasonings in it. So I'm going to show y'all. It's a quick and easy recipe to put together, and you can adjust it to fit your taste. I start by browning ground meat. I like mine fine ground. Some people like it coarse ground, or they like actual chunk style big chunks of chili meat. I use quite a bit of garlic, probably about a teaspoon or a little more. Use some paprika, about half a teaspoon probably, and chili powder, and you can put as much or as little chili powder in there as you like. I probably start out with about a teaspoonful, and then if that's not enough, if I want more, I add more. And a little bit of salt, depending on how much garlic you use, how much salt. I don't use a lot of salt, maybe a quarter teaspoon or a half. And I use chopped up onions. One medium to large onion if you like onions. If you don't put it in there. It's that simple. Let that cook until the ground meat is done. Drain off any excess oil or grease, liquid, whatever's in there needs to be drained off. One thing I forgot to mention is black pepper. There again, put however much you like. I like quite a bit of black pepper in mine, and I just forgot to mention it until I started unpacking my groceries. So I use about probably a half a teaspoon. That's too slow. Maybe half a teaspoon of black pepper. If you want more, add more. If you want less, don't put as much in there. Our meat's pretty well browned now. I used about 2.5 pounds of meat. For my recipe, that's about what you need, 2 to 2.5 pounds of lean meat. I've drained off all the extra juices that have cooked off of it. Again, I like beans in mine. I grew up eating beans in chili. I know some people don't like it. If you don't like it, just adjust it. Adjust the ingredients to fit your cooking style. Michelle and I raised 5 kids, so we wanted to make our food go as far as we could, as cheap as we could, and have enough to feed everybody. And so that's why we do things the way we do things a lot of times. I use 25 ounces of ranch style beans with jalapenos. I also use a small can. You can have jalapenos in it too. They didn't have them, so I didn't get it. But it's a 15-ounce can. And that makes it be about half beans and half meat. So I also use a 28-ounce can of original recipe Rotel. It's diced tomatoes and green chilies. You can use mild or you can use spicy. And then I use a 10-ounce can. Now I use the big cans and the little cans because that gives it the flavor that I like, the flavor that I want. And I also use about a half a cup of ketchup. You don't have to put that in there if you don't want it in there. You can also substitute tomato paste. So there we have it. It's got all the ingredients in it. Now I'll bring it to a pretty good boil, and it looks a little dry at this point, but as it cooks you'll see it won't need any extra liquid. bring it to a pretty good boil. As soon as it starts to boil, I'll turn it down to a simmer, put the lid on it to trap in all the flavor, and then I'll taste it. If it needs more salt, needs more garlic, more pepper, more ketchup, whatever, then I adjust it that way. Depending on what kind of meat you use, it changes the flavor a little bit, and so you're going to want to adjust a little bit after it's cooked to suit your needs. But this is what it'll be, a little redder than this, be darker, deeper color of red when it's completely through. And I'm not going to show you all the end of the video. That's, you have a pretty good idea of how it's going to turn out. It's going to be chili with beans in it. I hope y'all enjoy the recipes. Give me some tips to future things that you would like to see me try to cook, and if I have a recipe for it, I'll do it. If not, maybe I'll create one. Maybe you'll come up with something that I like. So this also makes good cowboy nachos. You take some nacho chips, you put that chili over it, cover it in cheese and a little hot sauce on top. It's good. That's how it's done. The longer you let this cook, the better the flavor and the thicker it will be. Or you can let it cook until it's done, put it in the refrigerator overnight, heat it back up, and that just improves the flavor. The longer it sets, the better it gets. So y'all let me know how these turn out for you. Like I say, subscribe to our channel and send me some ideas of things you would like to see us try to cook.